14.
All right. I see. I kind of don't know what I'm doing.
Woo-ha! Woo-ha! Keep you all in check. Woo-ha!
Ooh,
Good
ha, ha.
morning, everybody. Yes, welcome back to the show. This is episode 463 of the two Dum
Wow.
Yinzers. Mike, we are 37, just 37 shows away from reaching the 500 show plateau. I don't know how excited you are, but I tell you what, I'm really pumped up, man.
I am too. I'd never thought we'd see the day. I know I say that every time we hit a milestone or something, but like 500 is something I never thought we would see.
I never thought I'd be alive still at this point, to be honest with you.
I'm surprised we haven't killed each other. You know,
Well,
we
that
yeah,
and the food that we eat and the cheeseburgers and the pizzas and man,
that's
I
true.
thought one way or
Yeah.
another somebody would be dead by now, but here we are. Here we are, 37 episodes away from the big 500, Mike. That will be
Uh,
the beginning of next year at some point. And as I said, I think we're going to try to make it a special week. We're going to do some things. We're going to have some people on, and I think it's going to be a good time.
I like it. I like it.
And it's going to be yeah. I'll fill you in more on the details of what I'm thinking.
All right.
I don't want to put anything out there yet, just in case things don't
Yeah.
come together. But here we are, everybody. It is Thursday, December 14th, 2023. Christmas is right around the corner.
Oh God, I can't wait.
10 days away from Christmas Eve. 10
I
days
can't
from right now.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
Ginza or the Ginzaopolis 500. I kind of like that. I like that. Up in the comments. I can't pronounce words, so I'm probably butchering what he's trying to say.
I'm sure you are. Good morning, Brian. Uh
Derpy is in town. Look at this.
oh
Derpy's
shit. Now
joining.
it's a party.
Now it's a party. He had to come in, late to the
Well,
show.
Derby's the diva. He has to be fashionably
He
late.
he is the diva.
Derby.
We're his background music for his daily massage.
That's right. Well, as you're not, I don't know if you're aware or not, but Derpy does do a few shows of his own, and I think that we are just his catapult. We're his
We are.
plateau. He
We
stands on
are.
our head basically for
Yeah,
his.
we're his stepping stone. He's like, I'm
No,
just using these two guys to boost my own online
He's
profile.
he's Hollywood Derpy.
He is too.
no.
He got those big old stunner shades on.
Yeah.
Why not? I'm on to you, Derpy. You know what? I respect that about you.
You know what I don't respect? Has anybody seen Draymond Green? Why he's getting
Uh-huh.
suspended? Who
What the hell
does
was
this?
that?
Who does that? And the
He's
thing
like,
about Draymond Green, he's has a history of doing shit like this.
yeah,
And they show some of the, and he's just a fucking idiot. This guy.
yeah. Who the hell? Like, this is like Kermit Washington shit from back in the 70s. You know, him and Bill Lambier or no, Rudy Popovich.
Right.
Yeah, that's what that reminded me of. Like, this is stuff you saw back in the 70s.
And the old Pistons, the bad boys in the 80s. And
Yeah, this is like this shit would have flew back then, not now, Draymond. They did a whole different league.
this guy's a fucking idiot. Who
He's a
does
nut.
that?
Like he punched his own teammate last year.
I mean, and I'm trying to watch. I'm trying to watch and see what exactly happened. I mean, unless the guy come behind him and stuck his thumb up his ass, which happens in basketball. Don't get me wrong. I know somebody who actually did this. What would you? I mean, from what you saw in that video, how would you justify turning around and just slugging the guy like that? What a fuck! What a
No,
moron!
no, he's an idiot. They need to suspend him for like half the season.
They got to do something. He's out of control.
He is too. Yeah, Adam Silver needs to
He's
come in and put
definitely
his foot
suspended, I
down.
believe.
Guys, here's how it breaks down. Now everybody knows that there's about 107 and 6 teams tied in the AFC right now, and somehow we're atop all of them.
Because we're the best, baby. We're the best of mediocre bunch.
And we have 4 games left, like everybody else does. I'm gonna give you guys what everybody, the other teams in the AFC that have 7-6 records in their next opponents. And we're gonna talk about it for a minute and see what kind of a chance the Steelers legitimately have week by week. Okay.
All right.
I do want to start off by saying that the Broncos, the Bengals, the Texans, the Bills, the Colts, and the Steelers all have 7-6 records at the moment in the AFC. Here's how their weekends break down. The Broncos go and play the Lions in Detroit. That could help. The Vikings visit the Bengals.
Uh,
The
mm,
Texans visit the Titans. The Texans, who we're looking at in this one.
Titans just, upset last week.
The Cowboys are going to play Buffalo in Buffalo. And finally, the other two teams play one another, the Steelers and the Colts, Saturday. Um, so, of these games, these 5 games between these 6 teams, again, Broncos at Lions, Vikings at Bengals, Texans at Titans, Cowboys at Bills, and Steelers Colts. We sit in the 6th seed.
Mm-hmm.
What's the chances you guys think after this? Because here's the thing: we stumbled, we crawled on our faces, whatever we had to do to this point, whatever that was, it just happened these past X amount of months. Here we are, we're sitting in a playoff spot. What do you think is the Steelers' chances after this weekend with those
Oh.
games being what they are? Let's start with the
Hmm.
Broncos and Lions, Mike.
I this Lions team, they're unpredictable. They just were what upset last week to Chicago, but this Denver team, they're making a late push. They're playing their best football of the year right now. But I think the Lions are going to pull this one out because the Lions themselves need to straighten out to right in their own ship to improve their own playoff chances or their own positioning in the playoffs. So I'm thinking that we'll get some help right there in that game. I think we'll get some help big time from Detroit, and then they better pay us back.
Yeah, we've done so much for that team. The you know what, that's very possible. The Broncos have been on a roll, but they're playing a good Detroit team who does have, as you
Yeah.
say, needs to right in the ship. They are still sitting in a good spot in their division, but you have Minnesota creeping up on them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to take us to the next game, the Vikings at the Bengals. Now we're going to need help from the Vikings as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, this NFC North, we got to be. They have to be our buddies this week. I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
they really need to be our buddies, and this is the one I think where we're not going to get any help from. Um, God, since Dobbs has cooled off a little bit, they're going back to Nick Mullins. That does not instill confidence with me. That defense, they're playing well. You brought up, I think it was you who brought up yesterday about how well, what Minnesota's
Yeah, they've
defense has
only
been
given up
playing.
one touchdown in 12 quarters.
Yeah. So, how well are they going to be able to keep it up with, having to carry that offense? We see with the Steelers defense having to carry the offense, eventually you crack. Eventually, it becomes too much. I think this might be the game. I'm not going to say they're going to, complete collapse, but I think this is the game where they run into just too much. Cincinnati, their offense is rolling with Browning, right? Yeah, Browning.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. With him running in that offense, it's kind of like, Joe Burrow, who that's how well he's playing. So I think Cincinnati pulls out the win in this one.
Next game is the Texans at the Titans, an AFC South showdown between what you
Division.
would see if you would have seen this team earlier this season. You would have thought this would be a runaway game for the
Yeah,
Texans. However, we did mention they kind of hit a brick wall. They got smashed last week,
yeah.
30-6. I can't recall, but it was somebody that they should have beat. Texans at Titans, Mike. What do you think about this one?
Hmm. And Texans, or excuse me, Tennessee's coming off that big upset over Miami.
They did beat
They're
Miami.
yeah, and
Does
you
the
know,
Titans got two? Does the Titans have two big
do
wins
they
in
have
a row
two?
in them?
They have two. We need them to have two, but I'm not sure. This is the one where I'm kind of right now. I'm leaning towards. I think we're not going to get help from this one as well. I think Houston, even though they are starting to hit that wall because they have a lot of young players, I think they're overall just a little bit more talented. I think Stroud will find ways to win. He might be a rookie, but he has that experience from college of playing in the big games, of finding ways to win. Yes, it's a different level, but he has that ability to find ways to win. And I think right now I'm leaning towards them to not give us the help we need.
The next game, Cowboys at the Bills. Now, before you answer this, think to
Mm-hmm.
yourself what kind of weird, bizarro type of season this is,
Yeah.
and how teams that you would have never expected to win, teams that you never expected to
Mm-hmm.
lose. The Cowboys in
Lost to
Western New
Arizona.
York at the Bills. What do you think?
They did lose to Arizona. So
This
like you said,
Arizona.
man, you literally just said anything can happen. They did lose
Yeah.
to Arizona this year, but uh, right, I think we get help in this game because the way they're playing and that defense hasn't really missed a beat since Diggs went down with that injury. You know, who would have thought the other cornerback that they have, his name's escaping my mind, who has like what 6 pick sixes? He has more touchdowns than our quarterbacks, I think, combined at this rate. So, yeah, I don't think we get help in this one either. That's the way that offense is rolling too, with the way Dak's playing right now. Who would have thought he would be in conversation for MVP? We
So
need we
you're
need
like
him
him.
to have an MVP performance. I think two of these games we get help, and two we don't get help.
And the most important one, of course, is the Steelers at the Colts. Now, this is the one that, this is the
Mm-hmm.
smack dab in the middle. If we don't win, then you know what? All these other games are irrelevant.
Yeah.
Um,
Or if we all lose, baby.
which is a possibility too. Yes. Again, these are all 7 and 6
Yeah.
teams in the AFC in Week
Yeah.
15. The Colts are wearing their 1950s throwback uniforms.
As long as we don't wear our 1950s throwback uniform, but I think our offense is fitting in with the 1950s.
Yeah. So, Turpy, I don't know. How do you feel? How do you feel after those 5 games? I mean, we are going to pick some games later, but just at this point, I mean, this is what we need to happen. You need these things to happen in order to make the playoffs. And again, we're not going to if we get in, it's going to be a stumbling, crawling on our face kind of it's not going to be pretty. But in the fact of the matter is they are still in the playoff hunt. What do you feel about these 5 games, Derby? The Broncos at the Lions, the Vikings at the Bengals, the Texans at the Titans, Cowboys at Bills, and then again the Steelers at Colts. Are you feeling optimistic? Are you feeling confident that we could still be sitting in a playoff spot after this weekend? I think Derby actually literally
Derby.
gets up and goes in the other room
I think he does.
because you hear him.
I,
Because when
I,
he
I,
gets back, you hear this noise, then you hear him shuffling,
yeah,
and then
he's telling the massage girl to like hold on a minute, okay?
yeah,
Like my shoulders are good right now. I need
I
to
think he's
talk, so
re.
you can
I
wait.
think he's playing our show over his error.
But like we'll know by the end of Saturday, because
Yeah,
all three of the four games that we need to look at are all happening on the same day, Saturday night or Saturday, yeah, all day Saturday. So we'll find out. We need what Cincinnati's the 1 o'clock game, where the afternoon game and the night games. What Detroit?
who plays
They got
tonight?
Detroit,
Who's the game tonight?
L.A. and Las Vegas.
Mm.
Right? Look, I was looking through the schedule
Keeping them
earlier, trying to
Thursdays
figure out.
good, aren't they?
Right? Well, you thought you would have Jimmy G versus Justin Herbert, the battle of the male models. Now you got
Yeah,
Aiden O'Connell and whoever's playing
yeah.
for the Chargers now. But yeah, I have no idea where Derpy went, but like I said, man, we'll know by well, he's now connecting to the audio. I think he was having technical difficulties on his end. You hear Derp?
Yes, I am good now.
There he is.
You
There's the
get
man.
all right.
Okay, there we go.
There's the man.
It was technical
Derpy,
difficulties.
you're good, man.
Technical
Derpy,
difficulties.
there are 5 games this weekend: the Broncos, Lions, Vikings, Bengals, Texans, Titans, Cowboys, Bills, and then of course the Steelers, Colts. After these 5 games, how do you think that the Steelers? Do you feel that the Steelers will still be sitting in a playoff spot, whether it be the 6, whether it be the 7, whether it be whatever? After those 5 games, are you confident, Derpy, that this team is still going to be in a spot after this coming week?
It really comes down to the team.
Yeah, I think the
Well,
Steelers.
I would say it would really come down to the Steelers. It really does.
And you're right. The Steelers, they have to handle their business first. And as we keep going on, the situations here in Pittsburgh keep getting a little worse, and we're still going. All right, well, if this team loses, at what point do we have to say, all right, we're gonna have to win some games here, guys,
yeah.
and prove that we even deserve to be in the postseason?
That's like Pat Pete. I don't know if you saw this his comment, but Patrick Peterson said, we're treating this like a playoff game. It's that time we have to treat it like a playoff game. And so at least, they're recognizing that, it is now must win, but can that carry over into the field? Can they turn it around after those two subpar performances? But I think the defense, I have a little more faith in this defense than I at the beginning of the week than I did at the beginning of the week. It's going back through rewatching that that game against New England, you saw the adjustments they made. They shut them out in the second half. So they figured it out that they were able to stop them. They got so I think the defense can turn around. It's just that offense again. That's going to be the question. Can we score just enough points? Can we not have a killer turnover to do enough to eke out victories down the stretch?
Well, Mike, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I think defense is recognizing it's crunch time for them. That's where all the talent is on the team. That's where all the money is being spent. Is just on that defensive side, just is that offensive side. They probably recognize it as well, but do they have the enough talent on that offense to flip a switch and turn it on? I don't think
that was a perfect segue, because the next thing I wanted to say was this was a comment by Mike Tomlin that's kind of rubbing people wrong. Mike Tomlin says so Tomlin brushed aside concerns over a slow start, and his comment was, quote, "I'm not worried about 30 minutes of football." I understand possibly what he's saying.
Yeah.
I understand, but isn't that kind of don't you kind of feel that maybe if you did focus on and you did worry about 60 minutes of football opposed to just only not being concerned with the first 30, maybe your team might be in a better position to win the football game. For example, the New England game that just passed. If we wouldn't have made the adjustments at halftime, let's say, and we would have made them as they were happening throughout real time, maybe that game wouldn't have turned out the way that it would. And again, I think that's that mindset, that the mindset of just an overall lax mindset with this coaching staff that's kind of rubbing people wrong. I don't feel that if these comments ain't made, if the things aren't happening during the season, I don't think that people are going to have these feelings so intensely that they have toward this coaching staff right now. The coach is the enemy in Pittsburgh right now.
Yeah,
Mike.
it's just it's like you said, the way you can interpret what he said. Like I understand what he was trying to say. Like
at least we think we do.
Yeah. Like you know what he was trying to say, and I was like, you know what, I'm not. I don't care. I'm not worried about 30 minutes. Finish the thought. There was it's like if it's like I'm hoping that we don't care about the 30 minutes, we care about the 60, and we saw the change at the second half. That last 30 minutes we were able to get it figured out. So I'm not worried, just because what I saw in that 30 minutes, I saw something else in this 30 minutes that's going to make me more confident in the 60 minutes that are coming up in the following week. Something along those lines. Like this little bit right here didn't concern me out of this little bit where
he's
saw
not helping his own cause.
Yeah.
In other words,
he talks in sound bites, and that's what bites him in the ass.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't talk in complete thoughts to the media. Because he doesn't like talking to the local media. So he talks in sound bites. And so those sound bites get be interpreted anyway. He's his own worst enemy in that regard. Just say what you want to say, because the media and the fans are going to interpret it however they want to. So might as well just say what's on your mind. Don't speak in sound bites.
Good point, Mike. Another thing that he did that's been said by Tomlin, he's confident in the depth for a playoff run. He's confident in the depth for a playoff run. Does any of that add up to you? Does any of that make sense? Does any of that hold any water, Mike, that he's confident in depth for a playoff run?
I'm not confident in the depth. I can say that because I'm not the head coach.
Yeah.
I'm not the GM. I'm not a player on that team. So I can criticize the depth.
Maybe.
But again, this is from the horse's mouth.
Yeah. But, I don't want my coach to get up there. You know what? I'm concerned about this depth, man. We get one more injury, we're screwed. I want him to be like, I'm confident in the guys that are going to come up in. And I think as a player, you want to hear that too, knowing, hey, if someone goes down, I'm coming in. Coach has full confidence in me. I can go out there. So you're not going to play afraid. You're not going to play scared. You're just going to go out there and play. Not think about, oh God, am I going to let the team down? His coach doesn't have confidence in me, so I'm just going to fuck up. That's like said for the players on the team to like, hey, if someone goes down, I'm trusting you. I say it in the meetings. You're going to hear me say it publicly that I trust you guys.
The sad part, I think he believes it. I think at the end of the day, he believes that particular comment. He believes that, that he's confident in the depth for a playoff run. For one, there's so many things wrong with this particular comment. Playoff run is about to be, if you don't beat this Indianapolis Colts after losing 2 games to 2-win teams, if you lose this game, the playoffs are pretty much anything out the window. These 5 teams behind us or as I said, some of them are
Rise.
moving in the right direction where we're not moving in the right direction. The thing that worries me about Mike Tomlin is if he actually believes what he says, because if he believes what he says and he's just not politicking around, then that as actually concerns me a little bit more.
Well, I
Well,
see. I like that he
once
thinks that
KP
this
come
team
back,
can make the playoffs and make a playoff run. That shows
once KP come
confidence.
back,
Well, of course, that's what I mean. You're gonna see.
You got
What's
to
that,
say it.
Derpy?
Yeah.
once KP come back,
We don't know yet. He's at
We
least
don't
out this
know.
week. We do know that. Another injury that popped up, couple injury updates on the injury report. TJ Watt, he finally logged a full practice yesterday, cleared from the concussion protocol, and he is cleared to play. Alex Highsmith is a wait and see situation, so we're still waiting to hear on him. Also, the new news as of yesterday is DJ missed practice with an apparent knee injury.
Oh,
So, so yeah,
don't
so
worry.
that,
We got depth. We got depth.
yeah, we
We
have
got
all the
depth.
depth in the
We got
world.
depth.
So
I don't know. A
that's what
lot
I'm
of Steelers
saying.
fans would be okay with Deontay sitting down. So, that might be a positive
Yeah,
for
well,
the
that's
fans,
you know
for some of
that's
these fans.
neither here nor there.
I
It's,
know.
again, it comes back to
Yeah.
Tomlin if he actually really believes these things, because the depth is a serious problem. And I think
Well,
that anybody with eyes can see that if you go to our hop on the defensive side of the ball, we're very thin. Our safety positions are thin because these between KZ and they have injuries that they're dealing with. I think Minka's still playing with a broken hand. There is definitely depth issues on this team. The
yeah.
offensive line is hurt. Siamalu is battling an injury. So, like I said, if he actually believes that comment, that's what would disturb me the most about Mike Tomlin.
Well, you hope they were all high when they signed Nasty Nate Herbig, so you're hoping okay he'll be if Ciamala goes down, we'll plug in Herbig and just move right along. The
But
safety,
as you
that's
know as
what
well as I do, unless you have top players on your offensive line is going to be inferior. They're not
yeah
going to win that battles
yeah
in the trenches like you need to
yep
have happen to win games in the NFL.
yeah and safety depth has been a problem for a long time in this team. They just can't seem to find anyone outside of their top two safeties at any given time. That's the hardest position for this team to ever staff. I don't understand it. Even going back to like when they had Ryan Clark and Troy Polamalu, like the safety depth there sucks and sucks now too. I don't understand it. But the only part of this defense that had turned out that really had any depth was the inside linebacker position because they
And
keep
now
going
that's
down, but they
down to
keep
nothing.
playing. They keep playing, but now we're getting to the point of diminishing returns where now like someone can tackle really well in the run game, but none of them can really cover now. Where
I was just going to say
we've lost our coverage guys. Now we have our downhill thumpers. We lost like our
these
Lawrence
guys
Timmons.
that are
Now
the
all we
playmakers
have
are
are
the
Vince
ones
Williams.
that aren't playing. The
Yeah,
playmakers, so the
are
guys
hurt.
who are naturally who aren't starters in the league because obviously
Yeah,
they're behind.
yeah,
These are the guys that have to play now.
yeah,
So we're playing with our B team on the
yeah,
offensive line at the linebacker positions. Both of our outside
yeah,
linebackers. I mean, it could go one way or the other. I
yeah,
don't know if Highsmith's going to be there, and TJ just gets cleared at the last
yeah.
minute. The depth is certainly an
I
issue with this team.
yeah,
So I hope for the sake of
yeah.
the head coach that again it was a more of a political answer,
More
but
of a thing to to let everyone at least still instill
but it
some
isn't going to make
confidence.
us look. Isn't that going to come back on him and make him look like shit if we go out and all those things that the depth at all the positions is where we get killed?
I hope not. What wouldn't that be? Wouldn't that go back to the GM then? Like, why didn't you assemble more depth for the team?
Well, they tried. I mean,
They
that was
tried, but everyone keeps getting hurt. But like you
right.
said, we got these guys who were injury prone, but you have to look though too. Like we have so many big money contracts already on this team. You gotta skip
Yeah.
money somewhere. Once you start doing that, you get guys who have
I just don't understand
they
how
have
teams like
ability, but they're injured.
how teams like Philadelphia have a guy at every position that's a big impact player, and we're you know what I mean?
Because they had
Where are they going right
they
that we're going wrong?
they're
We
a
have their
lot.
front office. I mean,
But yeah, we just now got their front office, and I think we're seeing the dividends of that because a lot of our draft picks are performing well. Whereas,
however, we're worse this year than we've probably been in many years, with even
because
including last year.
the last couple drafts have been bad. Now we finally have a new front office, and they're identifying talent better than the old regime did. Because I think that this Weedle and Colin, this was their first offseason. So this draft class and in this batch of free agents were their first signings. So
So we will judge. We will judge off of that so far because that's all we have to go off.
This is all we have. Yeah, small sample size.
Cam
Draft class is
Hayward.
looking pretty good.
Cam
What's
Hayward,
my boy Cam?
16.3% run stop percentage since week 10. This is Cam Hayward, Mike, which is first in the NFL during that time period. Cam Hayward is the best by percentage run stopper in the league.
How he has like a tackle a game.
The way
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
The way they grade these guys,
deserves
it's beyond me. Maybe it is Cam Hayward and Aaron Donald. I don't know. According to this number, that's the case. But Cam Hayward, 16.3 run stop percentage since week 10. That's the first during that time period. I guess if you're looking for some positives, Derpy, that's a good thing moving forward. But again, I think these other issues, they might be too much. They just might be too much for this team. I hope I'm wrong. I would like to see this team do well. But we have four tough games. All these teams, I mean, the Bengals, the Colts, they're fighting. They're right behind us. They're right in this playoff hunt with us. We got to win those games. We need and then on the other side, of course, Seattle's going to be a late game. That's going to be tough. In Baltimore, so it's going to be interesting. It all starts this weekend and it all starts Saturday. The Steelers have to win. They
must win.
They got to that point where you can't really expect other teams to lose in order for you to do well. Now it's kind of past that point. You have so many teams up your ass at the moment, and it's eventually going to fall apart for the teams who don't have it, for the teams that aren't putting forth, the teams that aren't moving forward. There are going to be a couple of these teams that do that, of course, because they're behind everybody. Some of these teams are going to win. Some of these teams are going to lose. I'm concerned at the moment, but if they could get back to playing how they were playing prior to the New England game and the Arizona game, they just might be able to pull it off. And again, that wasn't great football either. It wasn't like they weren't setting the world on fire. But if they could just get back to where they were playing before Arizona and before New England, they may have a chance to sneak in. And Mike, again, not setting the world on fire, but we can only hope that the team could get back to that part where we were 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, to where they like we said before, they were just finding ways to win.
Right. You just have to find
that's all you have to do. And
it don't matter if you score, 16 points and the other team scores 10, as long as you're scoring more than the other team. That's all that matters.
They don't ask how many, but except for Steeler victories, we ask how.
Yeah.
We're,
down to the detail.
That it's down to like the play. Every single play is under a microscope. It's frustrating, but I love it. And you know what? No, not bad for a team who just lost their Hall of Fame quarterback. It could be worse. We could be the New England Patriots sitting at 2-10.
Speaking of the Hall of Fame quarterback, Big Ben makes some controversial comments this week.
Did.
Is the Steeler culture gone? Tradition might be gone. Cites bad coaching in his comments. I don't think the culture's gone. The culture is not going anywhere. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. If you live through the 80s, you realize that this is really nothing. This is a couple of years where we're not one of the top teams in the league. If you lived through the 1980s after the 70s, you might have thought the world was ending at that point.
Yeah.
However, the Steelers rebound. They become the Steelers again. The fans love them. The towels are waving. And for Ben to say that, he almost kind of puts, Ben kind of puts me in the mind of nowadays with his comments, almost to the point where, well, you know what? If I was there, it wouldn't be like this. If that's the feel I get from what he says anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's this team. If it was my team, we would still, because we were for X amount of years, we were the top team, blah blah blah. But that's what I get from him. It's almost an ego thing, I think, with Ben.
I think so, like him. Yeah, like I still think like he was forced to retire, kind of like they did with Polamalu. Like, hey, we're either going to cut you or you can retire. And to save face, Polamalu retired, he retired. And, and really quick, like, the Steeler way, the Steeler culture. I just was going back through looking at the team's record and schedule. We know they were god awful until the 70s. So I went through and looked at, seasons where we didn't make the playoffs. Bill Cowher had 5 years of his coaching tenure where he didn't make the playoffs. Tomlin's had 7, including this year would be 7 if we don't make the playoffs. Chuck Noll had 11 seasons where he didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's there are some really good times and there's some mediocre times and there's some very bad times. And like the Steeler culture,
if you're a fan who thinks that we're going to be good every year for the rest of ever? You got major disappointments coming. I mean, it's pro sports. It doesn't happen that way.
Yeah. I want my teams to make the playoffs every year, but we're also realistic to know like it's not going to happen. But we just want to see them get better every year, or see certain players get better every year. Like so, yeah, there's a lot of hit or miss seasons with the Pittsburgh Steelers. 2 Super Bowls in 43 years. That says a lot. If you talk about the culture, like once every 20 years, we win a championship.
What would you say? 2 Super Bowls in 43 years?
2 Super Bowls in 43 years. We went from like 1980 to now because we won in 79 season.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so 1980 to now, that's 43 years. We only have 2 Super Bowls. That's my lifetime.
And look where we sit. We still sit atop. So just by doing what it is,
we're still
what the Steelers have done, we still are. The culture ain't going nowhere. Believe me. As long as they're wearing black and gold, as long as they're football, as long as they're in Pittsburgh, that's not going anywhere. This team is going to be the Steelers. Mm-hmm. It's a roller coaster, like everything in life.
Yeah. And people want to talk about all like the Steeler way of playing football. You can't play like those 09, like those 08 and 010 or 2010 teams played. You can't play like that anymore. The player safety initiative was more or less founded for people like because of like Ryan Clark and James Harrison and Ryan Shazier, the way they went out there and physically dominated people. Like the Steelers and Ravens are responsible for the way of football on defenses, these big, hard, heavy hits that we grow accustomed to, that we want Steelers players to play as. We can't play like that anymore.
If you're concerned about these kind of things, be more concerned about the NFL losing its tradition, its style, because these guys are going to have flags on in the next 10 years. I promise you, they will have tutus and flags.
Yeah,
but I mean, look at the All-Pro game. You can't tell me the All-Pro game isn't feeling certain things out. I don't care what anybody says.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so like the way of Steeler football, of those hard, physical, intimidating defenses, you can't do that anymore. You're gonna get a flag for pass interference, hitting a defenseless receiver, hitting a defenseless running back, hitting a quarterback who's still in bounds but getting called for roughing the passer. Like if we had our defenses from like the Cowher Super Bowl, Tallman Super Bowl, the one we lost in 2010, we would be getting 15-yard penalties every other drive because that's the way we played football then. Now we can't do that. If we played football the way we did in the 70s, my God, we would be half our team would be ejected every game.
Big bad comments.
We're just trying to
comments. Negative nausea chimes in and he says when he's negative nausea. When Ben made these comments about maybe the Steelers culture is gone, the tradition might be gone. Negative nausea replies by saying, maybe he's right.
Great leadership.
Najee's been a man of
he's a man of few words. He needs to follow the Tomlin, just speak in sound bites.
Yeah.
That can be taken any way. Don't speak from their heart. I like it. So it tells me what kind of person you are. I like that about Najee, but come on now. But you have to think though, too, like Ben was the last player from a Super Bowl team on this team. Now there's no one on this team who has won a Super Bowl. Last one to be in a Super Bowl was Cam Hayward as a rookie when we lost in 2010. He was the last. He's the only one from that era. So by default, for losing the Steeler way, for me, the blame lies at Cam Hayward's feet. He is a leader.
He is the reason that this team.
He was there from when we had all these people who won Super Bowls that were there. He should have learned from them. So his failure to learn from them and uphold the culture, that's his fault.
Apparently, he's still doing well enough.
I don't know how.
Now, he's the best run stopping by percentage guy in the league. What more can he do?
Teams run to the right side where Walt lines up. That's where Cam lines up. So they're right. Who's making these tackles? I'm telling you, he's in the junior Sal part of his career now. He just walks over, taps someone on the leg after the play is over.
Cam Hayward, Mike, we could argue that we've been saying that for the past 10 years. That's been the case.
Yeah, Cam Hayward gets up off. Oh, Cam Hayward's at the bottom of the pile. Yeah,
I can't
bulldozed.
Place blame on Cam Hayward that we stink. That's a little too much.
I am, God damn it.
But here is another comment by another Steeler running back of the past. Mike, I know that you're going to love this one, and I'm going to let you tear into it. So just give me a minute.
Guy's great.
I respect this guy. I do, and Mike doesn't.
So do I. I do respect him.
Let's see what he says. These comments by Merrill Hodge, former Pittsburgh Steelers running back, he says this might be the worst group of route runners in the NFL. In the second part of his comments, he says the tight ends. These guys block like two turtles humping. Mike.
I love it. I love it because Merle Hodge, like I think he was a really good talent evaluator. Like when he does his draft analysis and he correctly picks apart like the people who think are going to be great players, and he says no, they're not. Here's why. I respect that. Yeah, Darnell Washington, not a great route runner. We saw that in college.
I don't think he's who we're talking about. I think that's obvious.
Yeah,
I think he's
like
talking about
pass
the people
blocking. Pass blocking. Pat Frymuth is not a pass blocking tight end. He's not a Heath Miller. He's not a Mark Bruner. He's a Travis Kelce, Travis Kelce kind of tight end. Where I'm just going to run out there and you throw me the ball. I can't block for shit.
He kind of falls in that gray area for me. As we've seen about a month ago, he had 9 catches for over 100 yards. The guy has potential. But again, I found the wording funny. I thought
I was dying when I was like, oh god,
two turtles humping.
Yeah,
and you got to admit the route running hasn't been spectacular, even from the guys who generally run good routes. They haven't been good.
They just haven't been good. But every time I see Merle Hodge comment anymore, it's like, oh, ex-employee bad mouth former employer because he got fired from the scouting, or he worked in the scouting department. Doesn't work there anymore.
I don't think that's what it is.
I don't think what it is. No, he gives credit where credit's due, and
absolutely,
and he's not afraid to call out when something's bad.
He's calling it the way he sees it, the way that you want Mike Tomlin to. You want Mike Tomlin to tell you what he really thinks, but he gives you sound bites. This guy, he gives you what you really.
New theory. Mike Tomlin is calling up Merle Hodge to call these guys out publicly.
There you go. Mike Tomlin is a.
That's you heard it here first. He's like, yo, Merle, rip these motherfuckers a new one because I'm tired of doing privately. You do it to the media.
So there you have it. I was thinking about getting a Merle Hodge jersey a couple of years ago. I've always liked him.
Merle Hodge. He had one good years of running back, and he's traded on that ever since, man.
He was tough. He was a
tough running. He was a good fullback, because he ended up converting to fullback once Barry Foster got up and running.
After that once Cowher came and he cleaned house, but prior to that, I thought it was him and Louis Lips. It was that team. You really didn't expect too much from them.
I went back through that roster. There are some pretty good players on the end of that noble beginning of Cowher era. Yeah, you had Greg Lloyd.
The defense.
Hardy Nickerson.
The thing was, the defense was never not good. If you go back through the '80s, the defense was always good. It was always one of the top defenses.
The offense.
It was always the offense, and
Neil O'Donnell, baby. Neil O'Donnell was Neil O'Donnell.
Yeah,
he was tough. He was tough. If fucking 88 knew what a hot route was, raid the blitz and run the slant, you would have had 2 freaking touchdowns the other way.
Andre Hastings,
hot route. Run the
slant. I do know that, he was. I'm still bitter all these years later. But Bobby Brister was the guy, and it was Cowher came in and said, "Yo, Bubby, you got to go. Let's give Neil a chance." And you know what? I thought Neil did very well up until that point. We got to move on.
Neil was what Neil was.
Brazil to host a 2024 NFL regular season game, guys. Brazil going to South America now, not just to Europe, not just Brazil. What do you guys think about that?
I'm going, baby. Let's go to Rio. Let's go for Carnival and
let's go party.
Hell yeah, let's go party.
Right. Let's get the TJ Watt tattoo.
That's all you, buddy. It's gonna be like the Hangover. You're gonna get TJ Watt tattoo on your face. But no, I like it. South Americans, man, they love football, different kind of football, but they love football.
We do got to move on, guys, because we still have picks to do today. Penguins. Wow, this game last night goes to a shootout. The Penguins win 4-3 in the longest shootout in franchise history. 24 attempts, 12 rounds. Jansen Harkins is the guy that wins it all for the Penguins at that 12th round. 4-3, guys. Penguins go up to 13-12-3. The Canadians drop to 12-13-4. Jansen Harkins, the goal. Mike, the Penguins, what do you think?
When I woke up and saw this, I'm like, who the hell is Jansen Harkins? No disrespect. I'm like, is he on the lineup? I don't remember him logging any minutes this year, but I've only watched a handful of games and just been reading about everything about them. So
I can't watch them.
Well, my apologies, Jansen Harkins. I did not realize
they all
once we get to
scored.
I didn't
The first
realize
four
once we
guys,
get to the 12th
the
round.
first four guys, like they all buried it, and then it
Yeah.
went like about 10 minutes, and then two other
Yeah.
guys buried it, and then it went like another 10
Yeah.
minutes, and then finally Harkins lands
Yeah.
it. During the game, Letang has a goal, Crosby has a goal, Eller, and then eventually Harkins with the game-winning goal.
Yeah.
Crosby finishes with 2 goals and an assist. Gensel with the goal. Carlson 2 assists.
Crosby's
They
on
gotta
a
get going.
Crosby's on a 50 goal pace, guys.
Malkin and O'Connor both had 2 assists, or had both had 1 assist. Yari had 39 stops on 42 shots. Crosby passes Paul Coffey for the 14th spot in the overall scoring in NHL history. He now is 2 points behind Mark Recchi on that list to become
Ooh.
to go to 13th overall. Crosby has 1,531 points. Mark Recchi has 1,533 points. So within a couple games, I'm pretty sure Crosby will move into that number 13 spot. But you know what?
God.
What a game. What a game.
Yeah. Like that's what I love about those shootouts, because like once you like you said, man, once you get past those top guys, because those are all your shootout specialists, your breakaway specialists. After that, it's just guys going out there trying the best they can do. And you get to the 12th round, you call up old Yankic or Isaac Yankum DDM or DDS, get him out there. He'll score you a goal.
Yes. Penguins back in action on Saturday, traveling to Toronto to play the Maple Leafs, who are 15-6-5. That game is 7 p.m. on Saturday night.
Crosby on pace for 50 goals at this age.
Pirates first baseman we mentioned yesterday, Rowdy Tellez. I just want to give you some
MVP.
I just want to give you some specs on him. He's 6'4", 270 pounds. He's a left-handed batter. However, last season in 105 games, he batted .215, had 9 doubles, 13 home runs, and 47 RBIs. This is our new first baseman.
What's his pass blocking like in his run blocking? Can he play guard? Can he come in for Siamalu?
And I did see that Crosby was hitting the hell out of baseballs too. So maybe we could just start crossing sports here. Have Crosby play some baseball. Have this guy play some football.
Yeah. Can this guy play center? He can't do any worse than Mason Cole.
All right, guys, we do got to move to the picks. I'm sorry, Derpy, Mike. Get your thinking caps ready. Derpy, you're going to try to get back in it this week. Mike, you are going to try to hold on to it this week. The games start tonight, as Mike mentioned. The Chargers at the Raiders. Give me one moment. We'll get started.
Excuse me, man. Oh, I'm yawning like a fool.
All right, so first game, Mike, you did win. Do you want to take the pick first, or do you want to defer?
We're going to take the ball. We're going to score.
All right, so Mike, first game of the week tonight, the Chargers at the Raiders. The Chargers at the Raiders. Who do you like in this game?
Give me the Raiders.
Derpy, over to you. Chargers at Raiders Thursday night. Who do you like in this game?
Give me the Raiders.
All right.
Easton Stick is starting for the Los Angeles Chargers. Easton Stick.
Stick is his name.
Stick. Huh? Easton Stick.
First game of the day on Saturday, guys. The Vikings at the Bengals. Mike, the Vikings at the Bengals. This should be a good game. I think that this will probably be a good one.
Should be. Who do you like? Game. I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals. They're kind of on the upswing right now, boys. They're a team to look out for.
Derpy, same question over to you. The Vikings at the Bengals. Nobody so far in these first two games, nobody's starting quarterback from the beginning of the season is playing.
I'm going to take the Bengals.
Bengals. You go with Bengals as well?
Yep.
Gutsy. Next game I'm going to skip over. That's the Steelers. We're going to go to the night game on Saturday. The Denver Broncos, who've been playing out of their mind lately, they're back into a playoff spot after a 1-5 start. They're traveling to Detroit Ford Field to play a pretty damn good Detroit Lions football team, like Broncos Lions.
Yeah. The Broncos have won 6 out of their last 7. Man, this is a tough one, but I am gonna take Detroit. Right. I think they're just gonna be just a bit too much for Denver. Denver's gonna hit a little stumbling block.
Derpy, same question. Broncos and Lions. Mike took the Lions. What do you think?
I'm gonna go. Is it at Detroit?
Yes.
Yeah. Give me Detroit. Give me Detroit.
All right. The first game on Sunday, fellas, the Giants at the Saints. This one ought to be a barn burner. A couple more teams that have no starting quarterbacks playing. Mike, Giants, Saints.
Give me the Giants and give me Danny DeVito or Tommy DeVito or whatever his name is. Give me that guy. That guy is fun to watch, and his agent looks like the most Italian gangster I've ever seen in my life.
Did you see these? Yeah.
That guy is great. His family is great. DeVito, whatever his name is my guy. I'm getting the DeVito.
Only
tattoo.
in New York.
Only in New York, baby.
Derpy, over to you. Giants at the Saints. Mike takes the G-men. Who do you think?
I am taking as well the New York Giants and Tom B.
Wow.
Magic.
All right. Giants never getting so much, haven't got so much love as they are right now.
He's completing almost 66% of his passes, 8 touchdowns, 3 picks. How can you not pick this guy?
Next game. Bears at the Browns. The Bears just upset the Lions. But the Browns, you know what? With this defense, they're playing just as good as anybody at this point, guys. Bears at Browns, Mike.
I'm going to take the Bears. Justin Fields, he's trying to, play for that 5th-year, option on his rookie contract to, stay the Bears quarterback, to convince them not to draft a quarterback at the top pick.
I'd want the hell out of there if I was him. I'd be doing everything I think out of Chicago.
I think increase his trade value to show, hey, I can be a quarterback in this league. I think he can be. Do I think he can be a top 5 quarterback? No, but like that top 15, top 10
out of Chicago
to get you there. I think he's going to try and prove the rest of this year I can be that guy. And
no quarterback has ever played well in Chicago.
No, and then going up against this defense, it's going to be tough. But they got some weapons on that offense, man. Him and DJ Moore have been cooking. I'm looking at Chicago.
Derpy, Bears and Browns. Mike seems to think the Bears are going to win. Who do you like in this game?
I'm going to go with the Bears as well.
Derpy. Wow. Okay.
With Derpy picking against the hometown Browns, his mom's going to.
I tell you what, I don't like Cleveland.
It's Fox. It's on Fox.
At this point, I can't imagine. I don't see. Cleveland's got a really good defense, guys.
Yeah, they do.
Really, really good defense. It's all
right. Fox.
We'll move on. Falcons at Panthers, another barn burner. Falcons at Panthers, Mike.
I'm taking the Falcons. The Panthers just suck. That's the end of my analysis.
Falcons at Panthers, Derpy.
This game is so bad it broke Derpy's brain.
Right.
He's like, I'm done. I can't comprehend. I forgot how to breathe.
Derpy.
I forgot how to talk. Derpy, are you there?
Falcons at Panthers. Do you think with Derpy, I never know if he's thinking or
yeah, I know, right? Normally he'll say, I bet he's having audio issues again.
Like, or did you step away, or
did you start he had to go he had to go get a Mai Tai. His masseuse is coming back in. She's getting the hot oil ready, getting the palm.
So Mike, I'm gonna go to the next game with you, just because we do have to move it along, but we will try to get Derpy on these picks. Buccaneers at Packers, Mike. Buccaneers at Packers.
I'm taking the Packers. Jordan Love's making me a believer.
All right, looks like Derpy got things figured out. It looks like he just
Derpy has like 12 things going on.
So right Derpy,
I know.
So Derpy. So who do you like? Do you like the Falcons or the Panthers?
The Falcons.
This is the one we could hear him too. I like this. All right. Also, Mike had already just picked from the Buccaneers Packers game. He took Green Bay. Who do you like in the Packers Buccaneers game? It's at Green Bay.
Who was it again?
Bucks
Buccaneers. Yeah, give me Jordan Love and the Packers.
You like the Packers in this one?
Yeah.
Derpy.
My man has 12 streams going on and none of them work.
I know.
Like I said, I think he's doing his own show on one of them, and he gets.
I'm trying.
Confused. Next game on the list, guys, the Jets at the Dolphins. Any way that this Jets team goes down to South Florida and pulls off a win against Miami after Miami just took a loss.
Oh, I so want to root for the Jets. I so want to pick the Jets. I so want to pick Zach Wilson, not giving a fuck. Give me the Jets.
Just to mention, Mike, New York Jets have informed Zach Wilson that he will not, or that he will be traded after this season. So,
he don't give a fuck. He's playing it out. He's balling out. Zach Wilson.
You like the Jets?
Give me the Jets. I'm gonna
Derpy.
regret this. This is why I'm gonna lose.
Dolphins
Give me the
hosting
Fins.
the Finns. All right, this is the first game that Ian's actually picked opposing teams.
Come on, Derby.
Guys,
You were with me when we were with the Bears as an underdog.
this game should be interesting in theory. However, it may not be. But you know what? Who knows? Going on what's been going on in this league, guys. The Chiefs at the Patriots. Chiefs at the Patriots, Mike.
Give me the Chiefs in a bounce back game.
Derby Chiefs at Foxborough.
The battle of horrible calls. Give me the Chiefs.
All right. Texans at Titans. Texans at Titans. We talked about this game at the top of the show a little bit. Mike, Texans at Titans. Who do you like?
I really want the Titans to win, but I think the Texans are going to eke this one out.
Okay. Derpy, Texans at Titans. I don't think he's going with. I don't think he's going to go against the CJ Stroud. I just don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Texans.
Very rarely has he gone against Stroud this year.
Very rarely.
Mike, back to you. 49ers and the Cardinals. Is there another way that the Cardinals could turn a team into their victim?
I would love it if their victories this year were the Cowboys, us, in San Francisco, but I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think San Francisco is going to put a curb stomping on Arizona.
All right, safe. I think that's a good pick. Derpy, over to you as well. San Francisco at Arizona.
Give me the 49ers.
Way to go out on a limb there, Derpy.
Yeah, you go over the top.
I know, right? I did the same pick. I'm trying to win here, okay?
Here goes. Here we go. Commanders at the Rams. Commanders at the Rams.
Give me the Rams. They're playing some pretty good ball.
They have been playing good ball. Derpies, over to you. Commanders at the Rams.
Give me the Rams.
All right. About 4 games left, guys. Here we go. Cowboys at Bills. Michael.
Give me the Cowboys. My God, the way they're playing right now, they might be the team to win the Super Bowl. Well,
Derpy, Cowboys at Bills. I lost my whole train of thought when you said that.
I know, right?
I never once even considered it. That's why.
Is it on Fox?
I just never considered.
It's on Fox,
never considered the fact that they might be the Super Bowl champions.
It's
until you just said it.
It's on Fox, Derpy. So you know that means the NFC is going to win.
It really depends on if they're. Yeah. Give me the Cowboys.
Might be a cold game in Western New York, guys. Next game, Sunday night, the Ravens at the Jaguars. This one should be a good game. Probably a controversial ending. I'm gonna take a stab at and guess there, but we'll see. We will see. Mike, Ravens at the Jaguars.
I'm taking the Ravens. I think they want to lock up that number 1 seed.
Derpy, Ravens, Jags.
I hate the Ravens. Give me the Ravens.
I thought he was going to say, I hate the Ravens. Give me the Jags.
Eagles at Seahawks, guys. Monday Night Football.
So the Eagles have been reeling.
I saw when I came on, a lot of people's taking Seattle in this game. It's in Seattle.
Jalen Hurts is banged up right now, but man. You know what? Give me Geno Smith. Dumb pick. I know it's a dumb pick, but that Eagles defense has been a little suspect down the stretch.
Derpy, Eagles at Seattle. Eagles at the Seahawks. What do you think?
Give me
silence.
Give me the No, give me the Eagles.
All right. And finally, guys, the game that is 4:30 on Saturday. We're gonna go back. The Steelers at the Colts. Mike, Steelers at the Colts, and I need a score.
I am gonna take the Colts. I'm gonna take the Colts. 23-21.
23-21 for a total of 44 points. Derpy, I need who you think is going to win, and I need what you think the score is going to be for the Steelers at the Colts game.
Give me
I could tell
the
literally.
Colts.
I can tell it literally hurts Derpy's soul when he picks against the Steelers.
It does
I
too.
feel
It does too.
All right,
Give me
Colts.
the Colts. Yeah. And give me
Derby's like, do I want this to be a blowout or do I want it to be a close game? That's what he's thinking right now.
yeah. Give me
I have us. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Derpy.
24-17.
24-17.
I have us losing on the last second field goal by them.
And that is a 41 number for your total score for your tiebreaker. So we are all set in stone, guys. There will be a winner. I can tell you that. We do have enough games that were different. We have tiebreakers, so there will be a winner. Good luck to the both of you. Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website?
Excuse me, the 2dumyinzers.com, the number 2 DUMYINZRS.com. Head on over there for everything 2dumyinzers. Merch is over there. Links for all of our socials are over there. Links for Spotify is over there. The blog's over there. The 2dumyinzers.com.
All right, guys, into the Colts questions. These are the Colts. It is Colts trivia this week because that's who the Steelers play this weekend. Here we go, guys. Another day of the Colts trivia. How many coaches did Peyton Manning make it to the Super Bowl with? How many coaches? Now, this goes beyond Indianapolis. Of course, this goes to Denver as well. How many coaches did Peyton Manning make it to the Super Bowl with? I'll give you choices on the amounts here in a moment if you'd like. Go ahead and think that over. We're live, everybody. We're live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, every day, right here from 11 to 12, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then 8 o'clock in the evening, we take that brand new show that we do every day and we upload it over on Spotify and podcast form for people who would just rather listen to it. Maybe you don't even have a chance to watch. Maybe you're somewhere and you just want to listen. It does get uploaded every day, the brand new episode at 8 p.m. on Spotify. Go check it out. All right, Mike D. and Derpy, the question of the day is this. It's a Colts trivia because we play the Colts. How many coaches did Peyton Manning make it to the Super Bowl with? If you gentlemen would like choices, let me know. Or if you just like to take a stab at it, that's fine as well.
I'm going to take a stab.
I'm going to take a stab.
All right, so here we go. We're going to start with Mike. You get the choice. Do you want Derpy to guess first, or do you want?
I got it. I'll take it.
All right. How many, Mike, coaches did Peyton Manning make it to the Super Bowl with?
I'm going to go with 2.
2. Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
All right, let me get you locked in. I know on the board that Brian is saying 3.
That's a good. I think he might be right.
All right, so Derpy, comes down to you, man. The final, or the Colts trivia is this: how many coaches did Peyton Manning make it to the Super Bowl with? What do you think? Brian on the board says 3. Mike says 2. What do you think?
I'm going to go 3 as well.
3 as well. So we're going to lock Derpy in with 3. There you go. We're all set, guys. Here we go. How many coaches did Peyton Manning make it to the Super Bowl with? Your choices were 1, 2, 3, or 4. The answer is Peyton Manning is the only quarterback in NFL history to make it to the Super Bowl 4 times with 4 different coaches. Dungy, Caldwell, Fox, and Kubiak. 4 appearances, 4 coaches. The only quarterback that's ever done it.
I didn't realize he had made that many Super Bowls. I thought it was only 3.
They won 2 and lost 2. He lost 2 with Denver and lost.
That's right.
Or won and lost in Denver, 1 and lost in Indy.
Yeah, I forgot he made it to 2 in Denver.
Remember they got blowed out of the first.
That one was great. Battle. I love every time Peyton Manning lost.
Mike, anything before we get ready to take off, brother?
Go back and look through Steelers history. Go back, look losses, wins, playoff appearance. You will see it's not all roses, and you'll see it's not all gray skies. It's a nice plethora throughout the It's a nice boutique buffet.
As I
A
say, I always
bounty.
say, Mike,
It's a
go
plethora
live the
of
nightmare that
results.
was the 80s. If you
Oh,
if you
God,
really
yeah.
want to get the feel of what
Oh.
the downs are.
Yeah.
Derpy, anything before we get ready to take off, dude?
The season isn't over yet, and if I know the Steelers, Steel Nation, you shouldn't give up on them.
I always love the optimism from Derpy.
Yeah. Balances out my negativity.
Mine is this, guys. Miscellaneous information, not even to do with sports, but I found it interesting enough to talk about. Sunoco and Brookline. I don't know if anybody caught this in Brookline. There was a female with no pants in a small coat just casually pumping her gas this morning in Brookline. Something I thought was funny before we went on the air. Just no pants, casually pumping gas. There we are.
She's living her best life, minding her own business, pumping gas.
I gotta say, I have no problem with this. If this is a problem to you, then I don't know what to say. But I have no problem with this. I'd like to see more of it, to be honest with you.
She had the decency to wear a coat.
Yeah.
What more do you want? She made it.
It made a point to say that it was a small coat. Yeah, it really did. I sit you not. But I do want to say thank you to everybody for checking us out. We appreciate each and every one of you. We couldn't and we wouldn't do it without you. Believe me. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Anything else, guys?
I got nothing, brother.
Derpy, anything? Speak now. Forever hold your peace.
I think that's it for Derpy.
All right. I think that's it for Derpy. I think Derpy is now commenting on his other show as we speak.
I think so. He's
Hollywood Derpy in the house.
Hollywood Derpy.
But I do want to say, Derpy, for the two Dum Yinzers,